Hey there, I'm Shelby Cornett, head coach at Amplify Academy, founded by Holly Essington. And welcome to the Stories of the Amplified Life. This is a series where we highlight the real women inside of our community who, decided that they wanted something different. So they learned high ticket sales skills, and now they are creating lives with more freedom, flexibility, and opportunity. And today, you'll get to hear one of their stories. Okay, Sydney, tell us about you, a little bit about you and what life looked like before you joined Amplify Academy.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm Sydney. I am a mom of two littles, and I have been working for a public relations agency for, gosh, it was going to be 12 years. I started with them like in my senior or my graduating semester of college, and I loved them. They were wonderful. I actually am still doing like a couple little things for them on the side just because I love them so much. But I just knew that when we had our second, I didn't want to go back to having to work 8 to 10 hour days. I was actually doing 4 10-hour days, um, tied to a desk. I didn't want to have to, miss out on all of the things and feel like there was no flexibility or freedom when it came to my days that were all like pre-decided for me. And so I came across Holly on Instagram and I thought, this seems legit, which most of the things when you're searching, like remote work, is not legit. And so I found Holly, and there was just something about how like genuine she was. And I remember thinking, like, okay, I'm just going to have a conversation. But I'm going to be honest, like, I think it was probably the first message. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Unless there's like something crazy, I'm in.
I love that. So, how long had you been looking for something remote when you came along, Holly?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I actually started when I was on maternity leave with my son 3 years ago,
Okay.
and things just like didn't really kind of pan out. Like I said, I hadn't really found anything that felt like the right fit. I went back to work after I had him, but then my husband actually moved into a role as a youth pastor this past spring, last spring, and so I started looking before I went on leave the second time because I just knew I was like, I'm going to feel the same way that I felt the first time.
Mhm.
And so I had been looking for probably a couple of months, and it was about 2 months into my maternity leave when I found Holly. And so I was very motivated by the like 90-day go in, and I was like, I'm not going back. Like, I'm gonna do this. And so, man, I listened to those videos on double speed. I was any opportunity. I had Holly in my ear and you in my ear at all time when I was doing the
Yep.
dishes and folding laundry and babies were napping, and I was like, we're gonna learn all the things. I think I finished the courses in like 2 weeks. Honestly, that's how like motivated I was.
Yeah, I remember that. You definitely came in and you were like, I'm on a mission, let's get it
Yeah.
done. Which
Yeah.
is great. That's a great energy to have.
Yeah.
Um, So I guess I'm curious too. I haven't asked anyone this question. How was that journey for you when you were trying to, like, you knew you wanted to be home, have something more flexible so that you could be with your kids instead of away at work? Like, how was that journey as you were like coming across opportunities and just kind of feeling like, "Ah, none of this is the right fit, or I don't trust this, or this doesn't feel legitimate? Like, how was that for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for I would say I felt a little discouraged because it was just kind of like I know there has to be a way out of this. And I mean, I looked at gosh, I knew I didn't want to do MLMs, which like no shade to that. It just for me, I was like that's not for me. I looked at like medical coding. I looked at like all these different like I mean like truly if it was out there, I probably looked at it. But I think that honestly, I was so determined, Shelby, that I was like, I know that I can do this. Like, I know I have marketable skills. I know that I'm a hard worker. I know that I'm an asset to a company. I just have to find what the right fit is going to be. And this was not on my radar at I didn't even know this existed. It honestly feels like you come across Holly's page and it's like a whole new world. And you're like,
Mhm.
what? And like, she's not gatekeeping it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not a secret, but like, it's not until you don't know what you don't know.
Yep. Yep. I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that that's maybe even sometimes the skepticism around it too, because when you do all of that digging, right, and you come across all these opportunities, you're like, wait, so there is something that exists that I
And it's
like I knew was
legitimate.
out there, but
And
like
it's fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's one of those things too where it's so funny how it translates differently to the online space because these sales roles exist everywhere, like in
Yeah.
brick and mortars too. But it's just like because it's online, it's like this mind-blowing concept. But oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, I know that you said after having, or maybe not even after having your second, knowing that you were having your second, you were just like, I don't want to go back to work. Was there like a specific moment for you though, where you're like, okay, something's got to change. This is it. Go time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it was probably, well, Presley, our daughter, refuses a bottle. And I was like, she's gonna starve, you know? Which so dramatic. Like she would be fine. She would eventually take a bottle. But I think that it was more of just like I think the moment for me was probably when I was sitting there and I was holding her and I was rocking her to sleep and I was thinking, I don't want to have to sacrifice these moments
Mhm.
because I have to go back to work. I don't want there to have to be a time where if she is sick or she needs me or my son, it's like because when you bring another baby into the home, like there's your attention is divided. And so I just
Yeah.
thought like anything that I can do to be intentional with my kiddos, like there's only so little for so long. I think it was just kind of like a culmination, like probably the hormones also, like, it's just like there was a lot of
Yeah.
sleep deprivation, but like I just remember thinking he felt smart. My son felt so much bigger too when we brought our daughter home. And I just remember thinking like I don't want to miss out on anything. And I did work from home prior. I should say that too. Like I was home, but I still like it wasn't like I had the freedom to just be like, "Oh, I'll sign on at 10 today," or like, "Oh, I'll do this." Like I was very much so confined to the constructs of the day
Got it.
that were set before me. And so I just
Mhm.
realized like I don't want that. Like I want to be able to know if I want to not work on a Wednesday that like I don't work on a Wednesday and
Yeah.
that's okay. Like
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
I love that. So I know that you mentioned already, like you just felt like, okay, this actually seems like something that's doable for me. Holly seems very genuine, but like, what was it in that process? I know it sounds like you kind of came into it like, yep, I'm ready, let's go. But
Yeah.
was there anything in particular that was like, yes, amplifies for me versus the other things that you saw?
Yeah. So I asked probably a million and one questions to in the
That
DMs
sounds very
before
you.
yes. Oh my goodness. Like I was like, I'm gonna know everything. I'm gonna be an expert in this. But yes, I asked a lot of questions. And I think for me too, like here's the thing, like I was very fearful about it wasn't I knew I wanted to do it. The fear for me was I have a consistent income with a company that treats me very well. And
Mhm.
so to step away, like I wasn't leaving something bad, right? And I think sometimes
Yep.
like that's maybe something that people think about where it's like, well, I just like have to get out of this. That's not how I felt. I didn't feel like I still, like I said, I love my former company. But for me, it was more of like that fear of I'm leaving the consistency of income. And I remember asking that question in the DMs and being like, how do you know that you're going to make money to like provide for your family, right? Like how do you know? And they, the way that Holly had kind of walked me through everything, and even like Kate when I spoke with her on my closing call, was she was talking about, like you're going to build this pipeline and it's going to get easier, and like there I think that's it too, is there was no sugarcoating it. They were like, you're going to show up and you're going to work, and like that is still like it's not like someone's just going to hand you money, but there's a way that you can do it that fits into your lifestyle that was so different than what I had seen. And
Mhm.
so I like that they weren't like, yeah, you're going to show up in like week 3, you're making 6 figures. And it's like, okay, that's like, no one's waving a magic wand, right? And like, that's happening. But it was you're going to, if you show up, if you go all in, if you dedicate and you find the right, opportunity that aligns with your beliefs and, like what you're looking for, like there is money to be made and you can do it. Like we will teach you how, we will come alongside you. And I just remember thinking like, that's what I need. Like I don't want to just be scrolling on Indeed or LinkedIn and like hoping for the best that I don't get scammed, like, and give my social security number and like my firstborn child. Like there's like all like the weird stuff out there. So it just, yeah, I think that it was just that like you can do this and it's legitimate, but you are going to have to work, but it's going to be in a way that fits your lifestyle. And that to me was just like, say less, let's do it.
I love that. Yeah, just kind of talking more realistically about things instead of making big promises. But I
Yes.
think too, like, and it was a shift, not to speak too much about me, but I resonate with you. Like, I loved my career. Like, I was an educator, and I
Yeah.
very much was worried about, like, I had a certain salary, and it was a decent salary to live on, and I had benefits, and I was like, okay, I know
Yes.
what to expect, like, literally through retirement, right? And then it was
Yes.
like, what do you mean I have to let that go? But I think for me too, it's this shift of there's a difference between like clocking in and just getting paid to be there versus like your skill and what you can bring to the table can shift what you actually make. Like
Yeah.
that reflects what you make. And I was like, oh. So
Yes.
I think it is kind of like a scary thing when you're like, so the majority of us, like, we're taught to just clock in and work and leave, and this is what we get paid. But I think like having this like power to change that can be kind of scary, but also like really exciting and empowering at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, when
Yeah.
you're leaving something familiar, like your brain, right? Like it wants us to stay
Hmm.
comfortable. And
Yep.
so I remember Holly even like talking
Yep.
about that. Like we want to stay comfortable, but on the other side of that like season of discomfort maybe, and honestly, I wouldn't even say that it was uncomfortable. Like Amplify, I had a one, which I know we'll talk about that. I had a wonderful experience. But like
Great.
when you step into that, like it can be like that wrestle, right? Because you're like,
Yep.
oh my gosh. But on the other side of that, like it's so great. And so it's like as long as you just don't let your brain convince you like stay safe in your little bubble, it's like, all right, we'll pop the bubble. Like it'll be I can make a new bubble. It'll be okay.
Yep. Yep. No, I love that. And I think that that's so much of, especially for women, I think that that just keeps so many of us stuck
Yeah.
instead of being able to trust, like, okay, I am capable of doing this. And those people are not the exception. They're the rule. And it can also work for me if
Yeah.
I'm willing to take a step out and create another bubble. I love that. I love that
Yeah.
mentality.
I'm blowing a
Okay.
lot of bubbles with my kids, so
Love it. Okay, so yeah, tell me about your time in Amplify. Was there anything that like surprised you when you joined?
yes, definitely. Okay, so I should just say like I had a wonderful experience in Amplify. And again, like I showed up. Like I think it was like a Tuesday night and Kate, bless her, is like still texting me at like 9:30 because I was like, I gotta talk to my husband about this, blah 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 blah. But like I was in. Like it was more of just like what are like let's make
Yeah,
this happen. And
yeah.
so she's so sweet. She's like getting me, all up to speed and all the things. And I remember like literally the next morning I got access to everything and I just went in. So like it was a Wednesday and I think by the following Wednesday I was already in phase 2 because I was just like we're doing it. Like I blocked off time. I was really struck which you don't have to do that. That was definitely just a me thing. Like I had a timeline that I really wanted to abide by and I was excited to like you get in, you're
Yeah,
like so hungry to learn it all.
yeah.
So when I got in, I think when I got into that second phase and you're starting to like you're through the modules and you're starting to like do stuff, I
Mhm.
remember feeling intimidated and being like, okay, like I'm here now,
Yeah.
this is crazy. And so and so but it was so encouraging. Like I so quickly realized like man there's something special here with the community, which I feel like anytime the girls like we're all like chatting and stuff, like that's the thing
Mhm.
that it's like when you're like
Yep.
it's like your family, like because you're rooting each other on. Like
Yeah.
you get some feedback on something, you have 10 girls that are responding and they're like you can do it, don't give up, like message, not even just like in the main channel, but like my DMs would be flooded with people like hey girl, like I loved how you did this, or like hey I know you didn't get a pass on this but like you're gonna do it, like I didn't make a pass on this but like now I'm here. And it was just this like you have people that are coming behind you, people that are right there with you, and people that are ahead of you, and they're all like pouring into you in different ways of like oh my gosh this was amazing versus like hey like I love how you did this is something I did that really helped me. And it just like I mean I have girls in there that like I still chat with, some that I actually am working with outside of Amplify,
I
but
love.
it's just yeah like the community blew me away. Also Shelby, you are an incredible coach, and I
Oh,
remember
thank
like
you.
you're welcome. I remember though like having conversations and you approach things with so much grace and intentionality, and there's never a bit of like didn't you read this in module 3, like why would you say that, like it was just like hey I saw your heart in this, like I really want to push you to do this. And though that pushing again even in some of the uncomfortableness it brought me to this season of like greater depth and understanding and confidence that I wouldn't have had if you were just like pass, pass, pass. Like you did challenge us, but in a way that was so effective to really encourage us to reach for more, like to really like dive in so that we were prepared. So yeah, I mean, I had, like I said, I could go on. I loved my time in Amplify. Probably never delete Discord.
No, we want you to stick around, but thank
I'm
you.
like chatting with girls. I'm like, you can do it.
Yeah, no, I love that. And thank you for everything you said. That was really, that means a lot, like the world.
Yeah.
But I do too. Like, I think it's so beautiful how I think in a lot of programs, I've spent some time in this space now and I've been with other coaches. And typically when people are done, they like move on and you don't hear from them again. But I mean, I have people from like even a couple years back that are still in the community and
Yeah.
involved. And I love it so much. Like, I think that there aren't many spaces like that for women where other women are cheering you on and lifting you up. And I just think it's so beautiful. So I'm glad that that was your experience and is your experience.
Yeah.
So was there anything like apart from the training, and maybe you kind of spoke to this a little bit too, that just like helped you feel really confident and like prepared going into this new career?
Yeah. I think that the all of the training, like that, like middle phase, yes. But
Mhm.
it's funny, I didn't expect, I kind of felt like I was going to get through all of that and I was going to be like gold star, crushing it, like no fears anymore. But then you get to phase three, and phase three is like the shocker, I feel like, because
Yeah.
you come into it and all of a sudden it's like a little bit of like the wild, wild west. You're like, okay,
Mhm.
so now I'm certified. The heck do I
Yeah.
do now? And it's not because there isn't like support, like there is, but I think there's like this mindset shift where it goes from like, okay, I'm learning and I'm getting feedback, and now it's like, okay, now I'm marketing myself. And there again, maybe that's like something just like in women, like how we
Mhm.
like process that. But I remember in that phase feeling scared for maybe the first time, honestly. Like I think there had been so much excitement and like the
Yep.
hype and getting there, and then you get there and I'm like, okay, now I'm expected to like go out there and like
Yeah,
get a
you were
job.
asked to pop another bubble.
Yeah, I was blowing another bubble. I was out there
Yep.
getting ready to go. But so yeah, I think that phase, it took me a couple of days, and then I feel like the girls again, they all came around. They were like, you can do this. Like you were in my inbox, like I had girls that were sending DMs, and then like seeing your friends getting hired and being like, okay, and then sharing that, like being like, hey, I saw so and so's hiring here, like I just worked with this person, and like it just, again, the community just really comes around, and it's such a beautiful, like, it's not like there's a job like I'm gonna again gatekeep and no one's gonna know about it. It's like this sharing of this of like, hey, I already got placed somewhere. Like one of my girlfriends that took a placement, I ended up like reaching out to her. I was like, hey, I'm actually not going to move forward with this, but I feel like what I know of you, like you would love this. And she ended up getting hired, and it just like, it's just such a cool time, I think, being able to like again just have that support. So yes, that was definitely a little bit of an uncertain time, but once I leaned back in and I was like, all right, I can do this, like then it just, you just keep going.
Yep. All into place. I love that. Yeah, it's definitely like you learn that it's more about the inputs, right? So like if I'm not getting the outputs that I want, like I need to take a look at what's happening here
Yeah.
and being able to shift and also like stay in it long enough, right? To ensure that that outcome is there. So
Yeah.
for sure. Um, Okay, so we do get this question some, so I definitely want to cover it with you. You had like two littles, and we'll talk about what it looked like for you now with your actual career, but inside of Amplified, did you feel like it was really doable to balance like what you needed to do in order to get certified and make your way through that with having two littles?
Oh my goodness, yes. And yeah, I have a 3-year-old and an almost 8-month-old. So when I was going through Amplify, she was, gosh, she was still like itty bitty.
I
When I was
remember
doing,
her like on a call, like
oh,
on you.
school, I was wearing her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet, gosh, yes. But yes, totally doable. I think like the only time where you really have to be kind of like strategic, if you will, is during the triage calls, which they're only meant to be like 15 minutes. And
Yeah,
so being intentional about that, I would usually block off 30 just because, like, again, you get on the call with a girl and you're like
you
chit
want
chat
to chat. Yeah.
before you start. But that really was the only thing I had to be like intentional about, and it was totally doable because the girls, everyone is so willing to like work with you. It's like, hey, I got nap time coming up. Can anyone jump on? Or like, hey, like my kiddos go down at 8 p.m. and someone be like, I'm available. And you've got all these different time zones or like early mornings. I mean, like I took calls at random times because that's what worked. And then you want to pay it forward too, right? So it's like my littles will be napping and maybe I'm waiting on feedback for something, but someone's like, hey, does anyone have time? And it's like, girl, yeah, I got 15 minutes. So I think it's just like totally doable if you're leaning into the community and you're showing up, like it's doable. I have no doubt about that. Any if you want it, you can do it.
Yeah, that's Holly and I like to say it's figure outable if you want it
Yeah.
bad enough.
And I know we say too, like doing it messy. Like there are some
Yep,
days where you're showing up and like
it's real
I don't know the
messy.
last time I had washed my hair, but like it literally was messy. But I was on that call.
Yeah, yep. No, I love it. And too, like
Yeah.
coaching calls, people like camera off because it's like, hey, I'm making dinner, I'm bathing my kids, but like I'm
Yeah.
here,
I'm
I'm
here.
learning.
I'm here.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, love it. Okay, so fill me in. I'm so excited to hear. Like, what are you doing now? What are you up to?
Yeah. So when I went, so after when I got into the last phase, after I'd been certified, I really dug in and started looking for business owners to work with. And so I relied a lot on, again, things that kind of come through and amplify, and then just doing my own outreach and like identifying business owners. I ended up getting 4 interviews. I applied at 4 places and I got interviews for all 4.
Yes.
um, and so that's like a great problem to have, right? Where you're kind of like
Mhm.
looking at stuff.
Options
One,
are good.
right? Yeah. And there was a lot, like I say that, but like there was definitely some where it was like, I'm not hiring, or like you don't hear back from someone. And so like it was just that perseverance of also I think refining the mindset of like, who do I want to work for?
Hmm.
Like where do I want to be? Not just like, oh, I have to take a job, right? Because like there's like that scarcity mindset I think sometimes that we can have where it's like, I have to take the first thing. And it's like, okay, no, like I worked really hard for this. And the whole point is to work for a business that I believe in, that like, like there's just a lot of layers to that.
Yeah.
And so like for me personally, I wanted to work for a business owner that loves Jesus. Like that was super important to me. I'm a Christian and I was like, I that matters.
Mhm.
And so as I started identifying different business owners, like I said, came to 4. One, I decided just like wasn't the right fit for like, I just didn't feel like as excited about the topic.
Mhm.
Another one, the hours ended up being just like not exactly what I had really wanted. And so I was like, I wanted to be honest to the business owner and I was like, I'm not gonna, like, this just isn't gonna work. So then I found 2 and I ended up actually accepting both roles. One was for a closer, which Shelby, I know the irony of that because
No. Yeah, we don't need to go into that.
I was like, I'm not closing. And I love it, which is just so funny. But so yeah, so I ended up finding this business owner with a closing role, and then another one with an appointment setting role. And so I did actually accept both. However, I ultimately decided to step away from the one doing setting, and honestly, like it was such a hard decision because I love the business owners, like love them. I believe in what they're doing. The conversations I was having in the DMs, like I would literally be telling my husband, I'm like, oh my gosh, like the things that these women are out here doing is so cool. Like it was their business model is, I mean, like just amazing. I truly don't have enough good things to say about them. It just, they're growing so rapidly that like it was becoming a full-time position, which it just isn't what I was looking for. I wanted something more part-time. And so I had a really sweet conversation with them and they were like, we'll hire you back whenever, which is so kind. And so
Yeah.
I'm staying on for a couple more weeks while they train someone else. I wanted to make sure that they were in a good position before I stepped out, but I am now fully going to be doing, and so like I said, I was doing a little bit of both, but now I'm just doing the closing with a business owner who I adore. Like Shelby, I can't even tell you how the team is wonderful. We literally all join on Monday morning calls. We all have our littles with us. Like one of the mamas homeschools, the other, like the business owner and I had a baby literally a week apart from each other. So we're in like the exact same season of
Yeah,
life.
get
And
it.
it's like, we'll literally be on. It's like, hold on, wait, I gotta go change a diaper, but I'm listening. And it's just like, but, and even like the support, the training, the intentionality, like I truly don't have enough good things to say. I am so thankful for where I am.
Oh, I love this so much. And I love that you had like two good experiences too, right? And just like knowing ultimately like this is what's best for me and my family in this time of life, and having that like opportunity kind of still be available to you too. Like it's I mean you can't get much better than that. So
Yeah.
were both like part-time roles then that you just ended up coupling together?
Yep. So they were two part-time roles. The other one was supposed to be like very part-time, like an hour a day. And then
Okay.
I also recognized like I have no chill. And so like, you see things going and I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, let's do another one. And then all of a sudden it's like,
Right.
this has been a 6-hour day for a couple of days now. So yes, they are both part-time. And the one role, like I said, was a little bit more. So it's more like 5 to 6 hours a day, whereas my closing role is about 20 hours a week.
Okay.
And my business owner is like super, she's like, hey, like flex up, flex down, like if you got sick kids, then like you take a day or two off. If you like need to like there's actually two closers, we're together. So like she's even just like chat with each other, like figure stuff out, like feel like it's very there are certain expectations of things, which is
Right.
is normal. It's a job,
Yeah.
but there's also that flexibility of like you want to take calls during nap time and after bedtime, like love that for you. You got a day where your parents want to take your kiddos for a couple hours, love that for you. Like
Yeah, it seems very fluid. And like
yes,
as long as you're hitting what you need to hit, do what you
yep,
need to do.
yeah,
Cool. I love that. So
yeah.
how long have you been, because you accepted both around the same time, right? So you've been in both the same, yeah. You're like, let's go.
I sure
So
did.
how
Yeah,
how long has that been?
yeah. So I'm going on 3 months. Three
Wow, has
months.
it really been that long?
Yeah,
That's
I got,
crazy.
I got, I did interviews. So I was certified December 23rd because I was like, my goal was before Christmas.
Before Christmas, I remember that. Okay.
I was like, we're doing it. We got there. And then I took the holidays to like regroup, start building up a pipeline of people to reach out to, and then like January 1, I went hard in outreach. I lined up all four of those interviews the second week of January, and ultimately accepted like in that week. Like, I mean, one of them offered it to me on the spot, which was like so humbling. I just was like, oh my goodness, like this is so cool, which was the one I like was most excited about. So that was also a blessing. But yeah, so it's coming up on 3 months. It'll be, which is so crazy to say
Yeah,
that.
that is crazy.
Yeah,
Okay, so obviously this is going to be shifting for you because you're releasing your DM setting, but with how things have been going with your closing role, like what does, I know you kind of touched upon this, but what is a typical day going to look like for you now? Like what does it
yeah,
look like juggling that and your kids?
yeah. So, and this was like, like even just saying this out loud, honestly feels like a dream. I can't like, I wish that Sydney now could tell Sydney last summer like what life would
Yeah.
look like. Um, but for me, I'll wake up in the morning and have breakfast with the kids, like unrushed, spend some time with them. I'll put my little one down for her first nap and spend some time with my big kid. Um, Around lunchtime is when I'll have like my parents and my in-laws are super close. And so they will take the kiddos for like lunch one day a week. And then during nap time, I'll take a few more calls and then I'll be done for the rest of the day until nap time or till bedtime that night. And then I'll have a few, like, I have like evening availability for a couple nights a week as well. But most days it'll be like 3 to 4 hours of calls if they get scheduled. And the rest of the time I'm with my family. Which, again, just like coming from working for 10-hour days,
Yeah.
like it just feels surreal to me, to be honest. Like I honestly am like, this is real. Like again, I wish I could tell people like it is real. And even I'll even say this, Shelby, like when I was doing the appointment setting, my flow of day looked a little bit different. I would actually like wake up before the kids, do a couple things, and then I'd put my phone away, and then around like lunchtime I'd answer a few things, and then when they were down for naps, then I would kind of like crank out a bunch of stuff and then
Hmm.
put my phone away, and then after bedtime I would do a little bit more too. So I would do like with the closing rule, it's a lot more of like here's a block, here's a block, here's a
Yep.
block. Whereas with the appointment setting, it was much more fluid, and I liked both for different reasons.
Hmm.
Like I said, ultimately, it just really came down to like what made the most sense with our family right now. But it for either, there still was like huge pockets of time during the day where I was just fully present and like with my family, and yeah, it's crazy.
No, it's definitely a shift. I remember that moving into that space too, and you're almost like, is someone gonna call me and tell me I should be working and I'm not working? Yeah.
Yes, like it's just, and it's even like, oh, like I've, got a couple, like I would be doing something and be like, oh, I have like, 20 minutes here. Like, let me just answer a few things and like kind of keep things moving. So it's just, yeah, it's really cool.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so what I would want, okay, I want to know what has been your like biggest win with either company or just in
Yeah.
general. I mean, it kind of sounds like making your dreams come true really is the biggest win, but I want to hear from you. Like, what is your biggest win
Yeah.
from all of it?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I will say like I'll kind of do one for each. Because yes, like just this time with my family and like really just like believing in myself, and doing this and like taking a jump that was scary, but like I just knew it was the right thing. I knew that this was the right thing for our family. And so, with the one coach for the appointment setting, I our goal for the month is like 30 calls booked, and by the fourth day of the month, I had booked 10 calls already, and they were like fire calls. Like the team was so excited, and I'm over here like, yes, like I'm not even on those closing calls, but I'm like so invested. So that was definitely a win. And then for my closing role, like I said, I think kind of the two biggest wins there is one, just like who I'm working for and who I'm working with is I couldn't ask for a better leader. Like I genuinely, I'm so excited to be a part of that team. And then on I think it was my second closing call, the girl that I was talking to closed like on the call, which was just like, I was so excited. I was like, we're doing it. Like, I mean, I was literally like messaging my business owner and I was like, she's closing right now. I'm trying to act cool, but I have no chill. So it just
Oh,
like it was, and it's like I think that's the thing too, is like it's so real for me and so genuine, like having these conversations with people. I believe in what my business owner is doing, and so it's so authentic for me. Like honestly, like with Holly, it's like she believes in what she's saying, so there's
mhm.
nothing scammy about it. Like I'm
Yeah.
having these conversations with people, and I'm like, this will transform your life, and I'm so excited for you because I know what's on the other side. And so like even honestly having Amplify as an experience to walk through so that I can truly relate and be like, I get it. Like going all in on yourself, investing in yourself, like there is some of that, like, oh, should I do that? But like on the other side of that is so much more freedom. On the other side of that is like what you're desiring. And do you see how like if you don't make a change, like what does your life look like 6 months from now, a year from now? Like are you in the same cycle? And so I just like I love being able to talk to people and know that like their lives are going to be changed in their businesses because of what my business owner is doing, and I believe in that so wholeheartedly. So like even just having that is like such a blessing. Like it's just I don't take that for granted. So, yeah.
Yep. Oh, I love that. And I think that that's what's so beautiful about this space too. And I know that I think people feel that too, like in MLMs and different models, like they truly back the product, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I believe in this product, I want to sell this product. It's like that in this space too, but there's so much. Like there's so many niches, so many different types of
Yes.
coaches and culture, team culture, and just like
Yes.
truly having so much. I think just like you said, like not having the scarcity mindset, but like knowing that there's so much opportunity out there that if I'm willing to not settle for the first thing, that I can really find something that aligns with me and that I'm not just having a sales conversation. I'm like having a conversation to change someone's life. And I truly
Yeah.
believe in that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's like my whole family got the flu the other week, which is no fun.
Oh,
But
sorry.
like I was down with the flu and my whole team stepped in. I mean, like my business owner was like, I'll take a call for you. It's okay. You rest. Like Venmoed
Oh,
me dinner money. She was like, don't worry about cooking. Like have a, like take a
that's
night off.
so
Like
sweet.
literally like when I tell you, and I think that can be a fear too when you're leaving like a stable thing.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're like, what happens if I get sick? What happens if I go on like I have been met with such kindness in when I'm like on my deathbed, and she was like, "Girl, we've got you. Like you take a couple of days, don't worry about it. Like you're don't worry." Like it just when you find the right fit, it just everything clicks. And so I think I would just want to encourage girls as they're going through this, like when you reach that point, like truly lean in. Like you've already invested so much in yourself, go the next step and like truly find a business owner, because they're out there that aligns with where you're at and your priorities, that like is going to encourage you and show up for you just as much as you're showing up for them. Like it should be that mutual relationship, because like you said, like there's so many different cultures and niches and all this thing, out there. It's like I landed a dream role, and I genuinely sometimes I right now I'm like, is this real? Like, is this really my
Actually.
life? And yeah, and it's just like I've got 3 calls this afternoon. My kiddos are gonna be asleep. We're at my parents' house right now. My mom like loves it. Like we're over hanging out, and then it's like I'm done for the day, and it's just like it's truly amazing. So
Oh, I love that, Sydney. I love that so much. Okay, so with that, with all of
yeah.
that being said, what would you say to the woman who's watching and is thinking like, could I really do this? Is this for me? Should I just take the leap? What would you say to them?
I would say, heck yeah, girl, make your own bubble. Like let's pop the old one and blow a new one. But yeah, I think I truly would. I would say like ask all the questions, because you will be met with responses. Like there are answers to your questions. So vet it as you need, but go all in on yourself, because what's on the other side of the what if is something that maybe is like more than you're even thinking of. Like sometimes that's how I feel right now, where it's like what I was expecting, this is far surpassed it. Um, like I would say just do it and go all in, like truly invest in yourself and show up. Like show up in the community, show up for yourself, trust the process, because you can do it. And it's so worth it. It's so worth it for whatever that looks like, for time with your kiddos, for time to travel, for just like time away from a job that maybe you don't enjoy and you are looking for a bigger change. Like there is something really cool out there, and this is, yeah, it's just, oh, I wish that I could go back, like I said, and like tell myself that last summer of like, girl, wait till you see what 2026 looks like.
Oh, I love that so much. Sydney, this has been such a joy. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us and being an inspiration for future women who come into Amplify.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. And like I said, for all of the work, Shelby, because you put in the work too. You were you were instrumental. So I am very appreciative. And yeah, really, really excited that I can be here, just encouraging others as they're going through this journey, because it's something special.
Yeah, it really is. I love that.